everyone, welcome to the second episode of STARPOD. Today, as always, I have Tomu and Jeff with me, and we're going to be talking about some Destiny 2.
Ooh. Talk of the century right now.
So, first of all, we're just going to address world first raid clear for PS4 made by Slayer Rage and his team. Congratulations, guys. That was fucking awesome.
That was amazing.
We watched the end of that and it blew our minds. We were all cheering for you guys and it was so cool to see you guys clear it. So congratulations again. And that Warlock gear. Oh, it looks so crisp. Looks so damn good.
It does.
That just makes me hyped. Just hyped.
It makes me so hyped. It makes me so hyped. I can't wait. So today we've got a lot to cover. So first thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is Destiny 2 launched on console last week. And it has been doing quite well. And the positive feedback has been overwhelming. And it has been insane to dodge spoilers, to say the least. So we thought we'd give you guys some tips about how we're avoiding spoilers and some good videos that you can check out that are completely spoiler free and will give you a good idea of how the game performs. So did you guys have any video recommendations for this sort of thing?
The most I've been limiting myself to is like if I see like an exotic that matches a weapon type that I like to use, I'll watch a review on it, but if it says how to get it or if there's a quest involved, it's just not going to watch it. If there's a quest, you're going to get it not naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what about that Bife video?
Oh, the spoiler-free review?
Yeah.
That was good.
I thought it was very informative, like having an idea of what we're supposed to be looking forward to for us PC users who are waiting for the launch still. That we have pretty much nothing to fear and just have to wait for the game to come out. Like hearing hearing that there's characters that are likable throughout the story is good, something that Destiny didn't have until late. There is a story, and it is told well.
Yes!
Wow.
Praises be! There is a story
What do you know?
in the game of Destiny now.
Supposedly, it's one of those stories that's been told over and over again, but that's Bife's word. But as long as your story is delivered well, it doesn't matter if it's been told before. If you're telling it in a new way.
I totally agree with that. I think there's a reason things are cliche, because they're good and they work. And I think if we have a cliche story to sink our teeth into in Destiny 2 and it's told well, like you say, I think we're all in for a treat here, to be honest.
I have like a little note I can actually add in from personal input. I took a class when I was younger, and it was film as literature. And we were taught that most films follow 7 very, very, linear storyboards. And so if they followed a cliche storyline, it means that as long as it's being told well, it's going to work.
That's exactly right. Because there's the masses, and the masses like a particular thing. And I think that's another thing that even adds to cliches being a thing in general, really, isn't it?
That's exactly why they exist.
Yeah.
It's kind of
awesome. Yeah, so I watched Bife's spoiler-free review, and I definitely really appreciated that someone actually went out of the way to do this. Another one that I would also recommend is the Before You Buy video of Destiny 2. Goes over all the really good things, the maybe not so good things that people are a little worried about. So let's get talking about that. What do you guys think of the shader topic that has just exploded everywhere at the moment? My personal opinion on this shader system is I actually really like it, but I think the concerns that people have are completely valid. That Reddit post that was made, it had 41,000 upvotes the last time I saw it. That is insane. I think that's the most upvoted Destiny thing ever. It's crazy. But I definitely think some of the concerns are really valid because, yes, in Destiny 1, we did have shaders that you could just put on an outfit and bam, you were done. You had a full, complete matching outfit, which in itself is really cool. But I think Destiny 2 has a lot of pros and cons to the shader system, right? Because it's like, sure, I have a lot more colors, but I have to be really careful about which ones I choose because it is a permanent choice, and I have to be careful of what piece of gear I put it on. So what this means is a lot of the complaints are coming from people who are like, well, I don't have raid gear yet, so why would I even bother putting a shader on this? It's just going to get replaced. But I think that for the long run, in terms of progression and things like that, I think the shader system is actually a really cool idea because you feel like you're collecting all these paint jobs, right? And you can mix and match and really show yourself as your character. But I definitely see the concerns, like, maybe... I think the reason they did this is just because they wanted another... there's a terminology that they use in game design called layered content. And what this means is you're progressing in something else while you're doing something that you already wanted to do. So by doing the public events, by doing the strikes, the raids and stuff like that, you're getting better gear, but also there's that layer of the shaders constantly filling up your inventory. So there's like a gameplay silly dopamine effect that we get from doing that as well. So I don't know, what do you guys think about the whole shader controversy? Do you think it should be just the one use and bam, you got a full outfit, or should we be able to pick and choose from a limited sort of selection?
So I actually got into this conversation with one of our clanmates. Can't recall who it was, but he was very upset by the change to the shaders and was up in arms about it. And even though I haven't actually tried it, I've heard a lot about what's going on, and honestly, I do believe that the current system that they have is what we actually needed. Destiny 1, we collected a lot of shaders, and a lot of them went unused. Mostly because of the fact that they only changed your entire outfit. That's all they did.
Right.
So you would find one shader, you would really like it, and you would stick to it, making that color scheme be yours. But with this new one, shaders are now more of like, it's a collectible. It's truly a collectible. You gotta collect a lot of them, and you gotta actually mix and match, and it further, as you said, defines yourself as your guardian. It makes it so that there's gonna be more of a wide spectrum of characters running around in the Crucible or in the Overworld. Being able to see players looking different, even though they have the same armor as you, they're not gonna look the same color as you. That's not gonna be a thing anymore.
I think that's a very good point too, because there was a lot of times in Destiny 1 where you could bump into someone who looked exactly the same as you. They could have the same armor, the same build, the same weapons, with all the same colors because of the shader, right? Just because of how limited the shaders were. And another point I want to bring up too is that in Destiny 1, and it's still like this in Destiny 2, don't get me wrong, but let's say, for example, you had a shader that you absolutely loved on this one particular armor set. If you change the helmet or the body piece, the colors are put on different positions for each model, for each armor piece, right?
Correct.
So you'll get like this really cool look, but suddenly you change tunic or, you change a piece of armor, and it ruins the whole outfit. Now I can go and grab one shader and just slap it on my boots. Instead of them being a bright fucking yellow, they can go back to the black that complements the rest of the black in the outfit, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Yeah, so I definitely think I definitely think it is a system we needed to. I definitely agree with you there, Jeff. And I'm excited to see what other new shaders that they add.
One thing though, to sort of like finish up with this shader conversation, through word of mouth we've heard that they're changing it.
That's right, yeah. We have heard that, because of the controversy of the cash shop in general, which coincides with the shader system, we have heard that Deej is quote-unquote working on something. Bless you, Deej, you beautiful bastard. Because, I mean, that guy, he gets a lot of grief. I remember in Gamescom this year, he was just dodging questions left and right, and you could tell that he really, really wanted to answer these questions, but he just can't,
He had that grin, just like, can't answer that one.
Kind of like Rita.
So, Tomu, as someone who hasn't played Destiny 1, someone who hasn't played much of Destiny 1, jumping into Destiny 2, do you like the shader system?
Well, personally, as much as I saw the shader system in Destiny 1, whereas it was very simple, you had your screen, you switch to it, swap your shader, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll say it like this, because from the PC beta standpoint, it was already so difficult to get all the armor pieces. I felt that I was getting a lot of duplicates, or, whatever, etc., drop rates, blah, blah, blah bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But then you put shaders into the equation, and all the chests that we would have gotten things from, I imagine you would have gotten at least a token or a shader. What do you know, right? I probably would have been able to deck out my gear much more than I would have been able to simply by changing around within the 3 armor sets allowed within the beta. Now that does give a lot of combinations, which I suppose it's also to make up for the fact that the D1 players that bring over their characters can't go through the same customization as the new ones. So,
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, excellent. Also, I'd like to bring up Luke Smith's tweets about the subject too. He was very defensive of the system. He stands by it, and I completely see why. He basically says that he doesn't want people to go to raids to get one shader. And he also mentioned that when you hit level 20, which is when you finish the campaign in Destiny 2, the drop rate of shaders increases. We don't know the exact number, but from what I've seen and what our friends who are playing on PS4 and Xbox One have been saying, it is quite a drastic increase. You cannot open a chest without getting a shader pretty much. They're really common. So I think that's great. All right, so on to our next topic here, because I'm sure everyone has heard enough about this fucking shader system in this game. Like, it has just exploded more than anyone has expected. The second topic is something that's very close to our hearts here at STARLANCE, and that is the future of Destiny 2 Esports. We have a lot of esports fans in our class, so I definitely think this is something really worth talking about. I want to address an article that's on dotesports.com, and it's just talking about the potential of Destiny 2's esports events. You know, they talk about how Bungie is really focusing on making the game competitive and all these changes and stuff. But you guys read this article, so what do you think?
I personally think that it's really just a sort of, you start up, obviously you're getting the feel for it. They're releasing content on a half week or almost a weekly basis. The raid just came out today. It just came, the game itself just came out a week ago. With that being said, though, one thing that would be very important to the PvP scene would be private lobbies. Now, as far as the actual content we will see on the PC release, that's yet to be seen. But seeing as they're constantly getting new content out to us, I see a very strong PvP scene available to us.
Exactly. And one thing I want to get out of the way too really quickly is that a lot of people have a lot of misinformation about Destiny 2 as an esport. A lot of people are like, there's no way, it just doesn't work. But Bungie are pushing for this 4v4 regulated game type. They're pushing for competitive game types in general. And we already know that private matches are going to be coming to the game. They have already confirmed that it will be coming to Destiny 2. We just don't have a time yet. So I think in the meantime, it's really important that people they stay positive and optimistic about a new type of esports, because me and Jeff always say this, there is PvP like no other in Destiny. It is so unique and broad and interesting. Wouldn't you agree?
You can drop into a match of Crucible and just keep playing. Keep playing.
Right.
Keep playing. And tons and tons of different, like, no matter how many times you play the same, like, shitty map, like, if you're playing fucking, what is it, what's my least favorite, what's on the Heart of Darkness, what is that map called?
I'm just thinking of Velocity right now.
Oh my god. I actually like Velocity a little bit. Uh,
Oh, there you go.
but it's Pantheon. Long
Ah,
three-lane
yes.
corridors where people just snipe and snipe back, and it's just every time you can go into a map, even though there's the meta, the strong way to play, there's still your own way that you can play. So no matter if you're following the meta, no matter if you're choosing your own play style and going different routes, every match is different. Every time you go in, it's
Mm.
just a new game.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you're going to be going up against people with different builds, and that's another thing too is that I personally am. I used to be a huge PvP player. I played a lot of Halo Reach and Call of Duty Black Ops and that sort of thing, and that's a lot of my like teenage years spent just doing hardcore PvP every single day. And these days, as I'm getting older, I'm really enjoying PvE, but I'm at this point where I really want to get into a competitive scene somehow. I really want to uh, be skilled at a game again, like how I felt with Halo Reach. Because, back then when I wasn't a busy adult, I could just sit there every day and stuff like that. But even when I have free time now, I will sit down with a game like Overwatch and play maybe 4 games, and I'm fed up with it. Like, it's because it's a combination of being terrible at it, and having and just not, it just doesn't feel right to me. Like it doesn't feel like a Bungie shooter does. And when Destiny 2 beta came out, I think I was just a little bit gobsmacked by the fact that I just kept wanting to play Crucible. Every time I finished a game, I just wanted to go back in with my team and kick some more ass because it was just so fun and it felt like a Bungie game. But it was like the added effect of the fact that it was on my PC at 4K. Like it just added to the whole thing. And I think that says a lot about it because I haven't been this drawn into a PvP style of gameplay for a very long time, and I would love to hear what you guys think about the Crucible in the beta.
I mean, beside the fact that we actually had like a 6 game streak of wins in competitive mode on the first day of
Yes, that was
early
so fun.
release beta, it was just one of those things where you got weapons, you got more weapons. Like, I ended up getting the single shot fusion rifle a little later on, about third day.
Oh, the tarantula.
The
Yes, I
tarantula,
love
dear
that
God.
My first drop.
Oh my God.
thing. Nice.
Well,
I loved that thing.
no matter what I realistically got, whether it be, the Nightshade or Better Devils again, right? It was just that I kept trying out new things. So while I did start out with hand cannon and I believe it was I went with a submachine gun, but then I switched out for both pulse rifles. I think it was Nightshade and Nurgle, but it was just like, yeah, no, when we were talking and when we were working together as a team, like with 3 of my clan members, we had our very first mercy rule, it would seem. And
Hmm.
for one, I didn't even know that freaking existed at the time. So imagine my surprise when the timer suddenly shoots to 10 seconds, mercy rule active. I'm like, wait, did we just win?
Yeah.
That
it was
feels.
it was crazy too because I haven't played a PvP game for so long too. I immediately thought I'm going to be terrible at this. It's going to take me so long to get good again. But I jumped in. The gunplay felt natural, and I had games where I was going 21-0. Like I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, okay, this feels good enough to the point where I can pick this up and just play it and kill some dudes. This is awesome. And I think it's interesting that you mentioned that you went with 2 pulse rifles. I went with 2 auto rifles in the end. I went
Ooh.
with the Scathed Lock and what was it, the Perseverance,
Oh,
which
the
was
Perseverance
the
was
Viced.
nice. I think it
Yeah,
was
the Viced auto rifle.
wasn't it the
I
shock
can
one?
I just say also those Viced weapons feel fantastic. I'm so excited to like actually get a full set of them in the full game.
I find this extremely hilarious that both of you found it interesting that what you started with isn't what you ended up with at the end of the beta, because I had the same exact experience. I started out with Better Devils, and then
Hmm.
for my secondary, I started out with I believe I was running around with the Perseverance, but both of them just didn't felt like my type of gun. I ended up getting
Mm.
Nightshade, and also learning that I really liked the Risk Runner. And so I ended up
Ooh.
running both of those, and I was able to have extreme survivability throughout most of the matches. I would be like outliving gunfights and being able to get away because I can lay down the fire I needed with my aiming type.
Actually,
It's so exciting, dude. It's just so exciting to finally have a good PvP game where I can reflect my personality through my character and reflect my playstyle not by picking a character but by making one that I choose, you know?
oh yeah.
Which is just inherently satisfying because it's like you're channeling yourself through this character that you've spent hours meticulously putting together your build and what items you want and what feels good to you personally as a player.
Oh yeah.
And so, on the topic of Crucible, I wanted to talk about what our plans are, because what this article goes into saying is that basically Bungie have not turned down esports for Destiny 2, and this is a very big misconception I see with this community, is that there's no way it's going to happen, Bungie won't do it, they haven't had any PvP events since Halo 3, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But they are willing to support the esports scene for this game if the community enjoys it, and if the community is comfortable with the game. So I believe that's part of the reason that they don't have private matches right now, is because they want people to settle in, they want to get the player base the feel of the game and just enjoy it without the stress of having to immediately go into competitive PvP, right? Like, that's like if Overwatch launched a season, like the second the game launched, you know? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
We didn't get our first season in Overwatch until I think it was 6 months after.
Right, exactly. It was
Huh.
a long time. It let the players sink into the game, and I think that's a really good point to bring up when we're thinking about a competitive game type mode like Destiny, because Destiny is focusing on those critical team shooting elements and the 4v4 and all that sort of stuff. So
Right.
what we're really, the reason we're so passionate about this whole Crucible subject is because STARLANCE is actually going to be hosting its own bi-weekly tournaments until we get some sort of official foundation for an esports scene for Destiny 2. And I'm really excited to announce that our website, you'll be able to come in. We're going to have a few free events where you can come in with your team of 4, and you can go head to head with each other. This will be happening the second that we get private matches. So we're super excited to be talking about that. And not only will we just be hosting these tournaments, we will actually be on Twitch watching them live, and we will be shoutcasting with it. Me and Jeff will be sitting there with our ugly mugs on webcam, yelling at people online. So we're super excited. We're super passionate. We've never done anything like this, but we really want to, because we love this game and we love this community and we love its PvP, and it needs more esports scene. So that's our contribution to that as well. So I'm very excited to be talking about that.
I have a follow-up topic on this topic.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and unveil the project that you've been working on the graphics of, and that is the STARLANCE Lions.
The STARLANCE
Woohoo.
Lions.
That is
Sounds so good to
STARLANCE's
say.
official esports PvP team.
I am so excited to finally have the graphic completely finalized and stuff. It took a while to really nail the design, but
It's
I think we're
truly
really happy with it.
intimidating.
Oh,
I really like it. It turned out quite well. So that's going to be exciting because we're going to be representing ourselves too. We're going to get into these tournaments that we host, and we're going to get into other people's tournaments as well. Another thing we'd like to mention too is that our plans for these tournaments is to actually give 90% of the proceeds to charity of your choice. So that's going to be really exciting to be giving to people while providing an awesome, just like a platform for people to come and show their stuff in PvP. And I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
Excellent. Cool. So let's talk about sales numbers. Let's get down to numbers, people. So there was an article recently talking about how the sales figures for Destiny 2 are actually 58% lower than Destiny 1's initial launch.
I mean, to be expected after Destiny 1's launch content. People are going to be very, very iffy about it.
Right, that's a very good point. Destiny 1 did come out as an incomplete game. Let's be real. It was not a fun game. Vanilla was boring and grindy and had no soul at all, really, did it? It was not a very good game at the time. Sure, we may have had fun with it, but we can really narrow that down to Bungie's excellence in making a first-person shooter feel fantastic. Really, can't we?
Yeah.
That is correct.
So,
And another big part of Destiny 1's actual success that it had was how easily people were able to get together and make communities.
I'd also like to mention, like, I want to bring up some facts here. That there's a common misconception about this number too, is that they're saying 58% of it's 58% less than the original game.
Right.
I want to talk to you guys about why that might be, and it actually comes down to a few interesting factors.
Sure.
The biggest one is that in the last year, sales for online purchases of games or just downloadable games has gone up by a staggering 20%. It's actually at 74 to 80% of all online games or all games are being bought digitally these days. And they do not count towards these sale marks. This minus 58% of the original game. They don't count. This is physical sales.
Only.
So it's 58% less than the physical sales only.
Guilty.
And I'd also like to mention that it has been 2017's biggest launch for the United Kingdom. And also, I would also like to bring up that there are 1.2 million coherent Guardians online at all times, every day since launch. And to give you guys some context as to how huge a number that is, PUBG only hit 1 million coherent users since last week. And that game is huge right now. People were expecting the numbers to be a lot higher, actually. But yeah, they've only just hit 1 million.
And that passed Dota being Steam's largest game to date of coherent players, and that was 500,000 to 750,000.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And then compare that to the game that we like to apparently talk about a lot on this is Warframe. Warframe has 50,000 coherent players at any one time.
And that game feels huge. That community in that game feels huge. Like, it feels like a big world. And I think Destiny is like just takes that to a whole other scale. But I'm not going to go into that because Warframe fans will stab me.
I will
They'll
stab
stab me. Even though I am a huge Warframe fan, and we have like over 3,000 hours in that game each. They're just like the three of us.
Yeah.
I also want to mention that these numbers don't include last-gen consoles. They do not include last-gen consoles, which was a huge selling point for the original game. Massive, because people weren't ready to make the jump yet at that point. Destiny 1 came out 3 years ago. Not everyone had a PS4 or an Xbox One at that point. So a lot of the copies were bought on PS3 and Xbox 360 just to try the game out, and eventually most people upgraded, including yours truly, Jeff. You actually made the jump from PS3 to PS4, didn't you?
Yep, I made it about the same time as the Crota raid was being released.
Right, so you came to PS4 on the Dark Below then.
Yep.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
There you go.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I thought it was really interesting. Like, they're like, oh, it's doing 58% worse than the original game. It's like, there's so many more factors people need to consider before they make these
Claims.
like ridiculous clickbaity titles, man. Let me tell you. Because you will get crucified if you have misinformation on the internet.
Polygon.
And this it's also it's also an important factor to just really take a moment and realize that that Destiny 2 is only on Xbox One, PS4, and soon to be PC. So they
Right,
don't have the
exactly.
full market they had access to when they released Destiny 1.
Right, and just those numbers for, for digital sales of games, that's actually estimated to increase by another 5% by the end of this year into early 2018. Another 5%. That is huge, considering that like millions upon millions of games are sold every day.
And that the gaming market is
Crazy.
currently I believe it's the third largest market in the world.
There you go, and that summarizes it. And also, that 74 to 80% of all video games being digitally bought, that's the US only, people. US only. It's huge. So I think these sales numbers are actually false. I think it is fair to say that Destiny 2 may actually be selling better than Destiny 1 did. If not, pretty fucking close. Let's be real.
I believe that is a fair argument to be made about it. Towards the end of Destiny 1's lifespan, I didn't really meet anyone who was buying the physical edition of anything for Destiny. Well, they were all doing it online because it was just simpler. It was immediately unlocked. You didn't have to go anywhere to pick it up.
It was just there. Yeah, it was just there in the PlayStation Store.
Actually.
Like, you could just get it right there. And that's interesting. I actually got the game physically for Destiny 1 because I went into the store to get my PS4 and I just picked up a copy of it while I was there, so I didn't have to download it when I got home, right? It was just a convenience thing.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, including DLC, all online. I was just happy to just buy it online. And all my games these days, I do not own a physical case anymore. Like, I sold all my stuff that had physical cases.
Jewel cases.
I'm all digital now.
Same here.
Actually,
Yeah, and I don't see myself going back at all. What about you, Turner?
well, first of all, as the guy with 600 games in his Steam library, I don't think I have much else a place to talk. But one thing I did want to bring up that I think is very powerful and kind of like seals the deal as far as the last topic is concerned. That's really only counting the console sales, since all the PC sales are currently either digital or not, like, all there, you know what I mean? Like, they're pre-ordered.
Exactly right. You
Sure.
can't go to a store right
Exactly.
now and buy a physical copy of the PC version. You're exactly right. You just can't do that yet.
So,
And it's also like it's a whole huge platform, and we know, like even a lot of heads of the Destiny community, a lot of content creators, they're making the jump to PC because it looks better, it plays better, and it's probably going to have a lot more of their friends on
streams better.
it. So, it streams and looks better.
It is
like,
content creator friendly.
Oh.
Truly
It
is.
really is. And having that, and I think you brought up a really great point last week, Jeff, is that if we had 60 FPS on console and things like that, think of all the awesome content we could be looking at. Like, we could be looking at awesome slow motion sort of stuff. We could be looking at really nice looking machinima and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely think it's really exciting that it's coming to PC, not just from a graphical standpoint, but from a social community and content creating standpoint as well. So I'm very excited to see what the future of Destiny 2 holds for us on PC.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. So I thought we'd get a bit more personal with this last topic today and talk about what our clan is, who we are, right? So I am the leader of STARLANCE, and I thought I'd give a bit of a background into what our clan actually is, because at the moment we have how many members in our Discord? 140 odd
Easily.
people.
Easily. I can
140,
check.
150.
We have a staggering amount of people applying to the Bungie clan, and we're being very meticulous with who we add and who we remove, and we're being very careful not to offend anyone or anything. So it's been really crazy and really also humbling that we made just a humble little Reddit post, and it exploded during the beta, didn't it? We went from 20 members one day to having 90 a couple days later.
4 days later.
Easy.
Yeah, it exploded. And we were like, what do we do? We have all these members. So we already had a really great Discord set up. And we just went further. We're like, okay, what can we do to make this clan as fun as it possibly can be? And we were like, okay, well, let's talk about content creation and things like that, because that's what a lot of people want to do for the PC version of the game, right? They want to show off their PvP matches. They want to show off doing the raid and the strike and things like that. So we thought, why don't we just make like a group channel? And hey, let's do a podcast. Crazy idea, right? So I thought it's been really humbling, and I thought I'd just talk about like the origins of STARLANCE, because actually a lot of our clanmates don't really know. People who have asked know, but basically the gist of it was I used to run a guild back in, I think it was in a private server of World of Warcraft, believe it or not, like really old back in the day, and it was a little guild called Freelance, and it was shit. It was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing.
Lion's origins have now come to be the truth.
From shame to fame.
Exposed. So that went on for a couple of years, and I dragged it through all kinds of games. I dragged it through Guild Wars. I dragged it through Guild Wars 2. I dragged it through official WoW when I could actually afford the subscription. But it never really took off. It never really. It was just a group of people getting together and having fun, right? And it still is. But I think the big turning point for STARLANCE was when I found a game called Warframe, and that was. To me, it was really weird. I just saw it on Steam when it was still in very, very early beta. Like, you could choose Volt as your starting character. Like, I know you can now, but there was a period of time where you could pick Loki instead of Volt.
Yeah.
There was Mag, Loki, and Excalibur that you could pick. Yeah. But in the original beta, it was Volt, Excalibur, Mag. And I remember picking Volt, and he's still my favorite Warframe, period. But when I started getting really into this game, I was like, this game's really cool. And I was running this on my crap top, by the way. Like, absolutely terrible piece of shit. Barely functioned. Like, a potato with a plug in it connected to just like an outlet in a bucket would probably do better than this fucking piece of shit computer.
Oh my god.
And it was running probably at 9 frames per second on low, if that. And I still loved it. I don't know how I played it. I can't tell you. I think it was just being, a bit younger and a bit more humbled and not really having the money to afford anything. And
back in my day, we only had 5 frames a second.
And we liked it that way. And I remember I wanted to create my own gaming community within that space, and I was like, let's bring Freelance over. Hey, like, let's drag it through the mud some fucking more, right? This credibility of this clan has gone to shit as it is. Like, let's just do it. And then I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Freelance doesn't really work for a game like this. Every other game has been sort of a fantasy style game, and I was like, I need something that sounds really like spacey. Oh, stars! I'll call it STARLANCE. And like that's where it took off. Like, that was it. And I met you, I met Jeff, and I met Tomu through Jeff.
Yeah.
Through that game. So that game single-handedly, like, got us to where we are now. Like,
yeah,
where we've known each other for how long? Me and Jeff have known each other for 7 years, and Tomu, I think it was like it's been 4, maybe 5 years that I've known you. Like, a very long time.
Wow.
And we've been great friends ever since. Like, and now it's so exciting to come together again as STARLANCE, because we tried it with other games, right? We tried it with Black Desert. We tried it with just a ton of different games, and it never worked out. And I think the difference between that is because we were just game hopping because we couldn't find something that we really liked, right? And Destiny was one of those games that was just so fun for me. But because I felt I was on console, I didn't feel like the community sense that I get from PC, right?
Yeah.
So when I heard Destiny 2 was coming to PC, I was like, this is it. Like, we have to bring back STARLANCE, and we have to make it like more than it's ever been. We have to actually make it fun and cool to be.
I remember the day you messaged me
What did I say?
with your idea
Oh
What did I
no.
say?
of, you said that I want to do it. That's what you opened up with. And I thought you were just being good old Lion, being really weird and really sick. But no, out of left field comes Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, huh. Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do that. Yeah. We didn't know we'd get 100 clan members and all this awesome community we've made now. And heck, a podcast. People actually want to listen to us. Like, I know we're nothing big yet, but it's so humbling that people are messaging us in our Discord saying, hey, when's the next episode of the podcast coming out? And it's so, like, I can't thank our clan enough. They're such an awesome group of people, and I cannot wait to explore the world of Destiny 2 with them, and you guys for that
Heck
matter.
yes. The original fire
It's
team.
gonna be
right?
absolutely
I've got to
awesome.
say that I love what the clan has turned into. I couldn't believe that we've gone from what we thought was like, an awesome community. Like we before only had like, maybe 20 members. That was
Yeah.
our peak.
20 members.
And
yeah.
We thought that was unmanageable, crazy, and like difficult to
no.
deal with.
Yeah.
But now we've got 140 odd members, and we're having panic attacks every other day. But we're holding it together, and we're still producing more and developing the clan further than we can.
Yeah, and it's so exciting. We're talking about esports, we're talking about podcasts, we're talking about content creation. Like, as soon as Destiny
Talking
2
about a
comes
website.
out,
Oh yeah.
and we're talking about a website, exactly right. But as soon as Destiny 2 comes out, I don't think there's going to be, like, sleep at all for me. I think it's all going to be streaming and content creation and managing the clan. I'm so excited to be part of a gaming community that I've been able to make with two of my best friends. I feel really humbled to be able to do that with you guys.
I mean, dude, this is my home now. I don't think you realize.
And just stuck
Yeah,
here. Don't you fucking...
I love you, Lion.
You can't run away.
I love you, but not like that. No, I'm kidding. But no, seriously, it's like this is the home that I felt I always needed. STARLANCE is it.
And it's crazy to see that we have a huge line of people that want to get into the clan. To the point where we're even considering making a second clan. Like, whoa, that's so cool. And I also want to thank Bungie and Discord for giving us the means to actually create such an awesome thing so easily. Discord is probably one of the main reasons I can even get back into gaming, because I was having this really weird period of not being able to understand how to socialize online. Like, Jeff was always really good at it. Jeff could go into a game and make 3 friends out of it, but I couldn't because I didn't really know how to talk to people online and that sort of thing. But Discord, where I can make a space and invite people to it really easily with a link, holy crap, that changed everything for me. It turned my whole gaming around. I was really scared I'd have to stop gaming, or I'd have to just play games solo from now on, you know? So now I have this tool that is like a friend machine.
Is it a Jeff in a box?
It's a Jeff in a box. The thought of that kills me, Jeff. I really hate you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
I saw a meme today.
You saw a meme today?
It was of My Hero Academia.
Academia?
I'm pronouncing that right.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe his name is Deku,
Mhm.
was going to announce what his hero name was, and somebody photoshopped over his name and put Jeff there.
My name's Jeff.
And me and Brandon, aka Frost Golem,
Mhm.
lost our shit when we saw that.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Oh man. So I just wanted to just talk about our clan a little bit because it's absolutely awesome. And yeah, thank you so much, Bungie, for your awesome clan tools. The fact that we actually can have a clan with bonuses in the game. Woohoo! Finally, something to strive for as a community.
I have a thanks that needs to be put out there right now on behalf of all of the Vanguards, on behalf of all of the Vindicators, on behalf of STL Lions, on the behalf of STARLANCE the clan. None of this would have been possible without you, Lion.
Yeah.
You have been single-handedly putting this together.
Thank you very much.
You've been working hard at this every day.
And it's because I have such an awesome community to do this for now, and I thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
So you are going to single-handedly bring this clan to fruition, and you will have the help of all of your Vanguards and all of your Vindicators and all of your clanmates.
I think the clan is gonna outshine me as soon as Destiny 2 comes out. Everyone's just gonna really represent STARLANCE in their own awesome way, and I can't wait to see all the content people are gonna make for the clan and for themselves and all their unique ideas and stuff like that. Which reminds me, do you guys have any plans for the content you'll be making? Any teasers or spoilers for stuff you guys are going to make? Yeah, do tell.
Once Destiny 2 launches and I get access to some 2-scale topographical maps of all of the Crucible maps that we have access to, I'm going to be going through each of them one by one, breaking down what the lanes are, where a team should go, where you should split off, and just some, not even, I guess some basic and advanced strategies in order to go into each firefight, just to have in the back of your head in case, you remember after seeing the video that, if I'm right here, if I double back right here, I'm going to have more cover in order to be able to peek and push damage on that point, and be able to protect myself without having to waste my class ability yet.
I cannot wait for that. I think that sounds so awesome. I definitely know I would watch something like that. Even if it wasn't your content, I would sit there and watch something like that because of my rekindled interest in PvP in general. What about you, Tomu? Do you have anything planned?
Well, I am glad that you asked because, coming from the standpoint that I have where I'm the newbie. I have little to no understanding of the world of Destiny. It's as if you came up and bitch slapped my guardian so hard he got amnesia, goddamn. Shit. Again.
He must be an EXO.
But, oh my god. I better not be an EXO then.
More joke! Oh, that's so funny.
But anyway.
Poor Banshee.
Oh, poor Banshee. Rest in
peace. But I have to get the lore in there somehow. I have to get it somehow, and I might as well help those like me that didn't get Destiny or don't have a console to their fucking name, except Nintendo, bless their hearts, right? But it's just I flashed back to actually reading the Book of Sorrow. The whole thing, start to finish. No gaps, no end. I just read the whole thing. It was
I'd watch that.
It was, in a way, so profound that I just felt that, from the perspective that I had, it was very difficult not to want to share it in a way that would make other people excited, to make other people want to either, join us in the game or join us for discussion, because we're more than happy to have you. I mean, heck, 150 people later, yeah? No? Totally. I mean...
This discussion gets me really excited too, because getting feedback is one of the most rewarding things as a content creator, really, isn't it? Even if it's negative feedback, it's feedback about your content, the way you can improve.
Right.
And I thought I'd talk about what I have planned, and I'm really excited for it, actually. It's going to be a different take on, those weapon and exotic and legendary weapon and armor reviews. I'm actually going to be doing a comedic twist on it, and I have all these awesome things I can't talk about but really want to. I have some really funny ideas for what I have planned for it, and I think people will really like a different take. And it's going to be focusing less on the big numbers and the meta crunching. I'll let the other YouTubers do that. It's going to be a funny review about how the game, the gun or the helmet or whatever feels, and just putting it in some funny situations to see what kind of game-breaking stuff you can do with it, or just silly stuff. And I think it's going to be really funny. Can't wait to show everyone.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait for an exotic review of just a comedic version of an exotic.
Yeah.
Which one do you think you're doing first?
The exact way how I'd use any exotic that's not normally on my character in order for some shits and giggles.
As for the one I'm doing first, Tomu, I can't really say. I think there's just such a huge pool of exotics to pick from. But if I was going to do one first, it would probably be the Cold Heart, because I just get it immediately.
No. Gotta
Like,
finish the campaign first, don't you?
Yeah, that's actually been
oh,
confirmed.
there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Well, in that case, I'll actually get quite a few more exotics before I even get the Cold Heart. So
Exactly.
Who knows?
Well,
Who knows what the first one could
one
be? It's exciting.
one thing you could do is actually go back through the Destiny 1 exotics, because with the DLCs coming through, you never know what they might slip through the cracks. So,
Very true.
Yeah, Bungie's been known for doing that.
Especially because this next expansion is Osiris.
ooh,
Vex
God.
stuff, man. We could see Volta Glass stuff or anything, It's going to be crazy.
Imagine having that shield again.
So that's really exciting.
Ooh.
I've sort of got my fingers crossed for your first exotic. I want to see you do a review of Merciless. That's been my favorite one that I've gotten a peek of.
Oh, excellent. What's it do?
It's a exotic fusion rifle that non-lethal hits ramp up charge up rate and increase damage.
Oh God.
Oh my god, I'm already thinking of how I could write that up. Oh, that's exciting. There's going to be so many fun videos. I can't wait. And I think that's a really important thing too that we need to address too, is we talk about STARLANCE as doing all this stuff and our tournaments and things like that. But the main reason we do this is because we want to. We love doing this stuff. And I think that's the number one priority any content creator, anyone should have, is that it should be fun.
Yeah.
You should want to do it because it's something that you'd like to do. Excellent, cool. So I thought I'd wrap things up with just something a little bit more fun and a bit more lighthearted, because we've been talking about crunching fucking numbers, we've been talking about negative controversy, we've been talking about PvP and all our clan and stuff. Let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about Destiny 2's soundtrack and how fucking incredible it is. Have you guys listened to it?
Always hitting that AAA mark with their noise that they make.
Oh yeah. I mean, even if we're not talking about the soundtrack, the sound design in this game, the sound of reloading weapons, the sound of the guns being shot, the sound of items dropping on the ground, the sound of picking up loot, opening a chest, it's all beautiful and it all sounds crisp as fuck. And I'm one of those, I'm an audiophile, right? I just absolutely love sounds in video games. Sound design is such an interesting field, and when a company nails it, they fucking nail it. And Bungie have always been known for just satisfying, clicky sounding guns, reloading and snapping, and it just sounds fantastic. So, the soundtrack. What is your guys' favorite track? Because track 11, literally took me from behind. No lube, straight fucked me with emotions. Holy crap, a song has not been that impactful for me in years. And I sat there and I listened to that song and I saw the mission that it came from and I welled up with tears. It was such an incredible piece of music, and it moved me really, really, incredibly.
I'm not sure what the track number of my favorite track is, but I believe it accompanies the fall of the tower.
Right. Yeah.
And
Is it that one that's in the trailer? What's it called? Two Arms?
Yes,
Stations.
that is it.
It's called Battle Stations, I think.
All right.
And it was just absolutely amazing.
I thought it was a perfect song in order to sort of mark the last foundation of Destiny 1 falling apart, introducing Destiny 2.
Exactly. How about you, Tomu? What song really hit the nail on the head for you for Destiny 2?
coming also from a standpoint of an audiophile, although I'm, it depends on who you talk to about me. It's like, oh, he's just absolutely nuts. What the hell is this guy's talking about? Frequencies, wavelengths, and
I say that anyway about
I mean, we all know we're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm crazy. It's okay.
You're fucking crazy, Tomu.
Might as well be an X already. It's okay. But coming from the perspective of a lot of orchestraic tracks, where I like the complex melodies, like and this is a strange analogy in a way, but screamo music.
Yeah,
I'm just like, just cut the screams, and it's already like, at least most of it, pretty damn good. It's melodic. It's very important to have that inside a song where it carries it along, so you feel that much more of a raw emotional sort of attachment to it. So when I was listening to the first part of the soundtrack, because I'll be honest, there wasn't a whole lot of time I could have listened to the whole thing straight through. My eye was especially caught on the more ambient tracks and the orchestraic tracks, like Lost Light with the Kronos Quartet, I believe it was, yeah?
Yes, absolutely beautiful.
I mean, it's just, you can feel the inherent sadness and loss, kind of empty feeling of, like, as the title suggests, having lost your light, having to find it again, finding yourself, etc. I mean, it's nuts.
Right. It's a song that asks a question that Zavala asks in Destiny 2. And what is a guardian if it doesn't have light?
I was gonna say the song hits you harder than Zavala took losing his light.
Oh,
Oh my god, too soon.
I haven't even seen that part.
You know what's really funny? I don't want to ruin this, like, the intro scene for anyone, but just when you play Destiny 2, just pay attention to how Zavala speaks and count how many times he says "now." Like, the whole thing is him just bossing people all around, like, blah 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 blah. Now,
battle stations now.
When Mato pointed that out to me, I think I just died laughing, and he actually made a meme about it, and I just couldn't contain it. I think I laughed for like a half hour straight.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
So that pretty much wraps up everything we had to talk about today. Next week we are going to have a very special guest, a very special clanmate of ours, who I've been really wanting to get on the show. And I think you'll all love him, but I won't tell you who it is. You'll have to come back next week and check him out. So thank you all so much for watching the second episode of StarPod. We really appreciate you coming back if you saw the first one and came and saw this one too. And we're going to keep making these.
Until you stop us.
I don't think they can stop us.
Exactly.
They can't stop us! All right.
1v1 me. Javelin 4.
Oh my god. All right. On that cringy note, I'm out.
Thanks for watching,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.